Hello again everyone. So I'm here again today with my next video on my request list, and this is for somebody who has a purpose of a life path 3 and brings with them the talents and the abilities of the expression number Master 11. Now that is a big talent number to bring with you when you're a life path 3, because the expression number, the 11, is a very, very powerful number. And yet when this number is used to its best and expressed at its best, it can be used very, very skillfully to help you develop your life path 3. There are some elements of the expression 11 that aren't always so useful for the life path 3. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you first of all about your overarching purpose as a life path 3, because this is the most important number in your chart and it should be your focus for this lifetime, and all the difficulties of your life path 3 and all the challenges that are involved with your life path 3. You're here to try and transcend those, to get past them in a healthy and forward thinking way. And you have a very, very powerful expression number that can be used to help you, but sometimes it's going to be detrimental. So we're going to talk about your purpose, and these are going to be your difficulties and challenges, and we're going to talk about your talents, just in a nutshell. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the life path 3 down into between 9 and 10 sections to show each element of the life path 3 and what needs to be developed. And on the right hand side, I'm going to show you how the expression 11 may help or sometimes hinder this element of the life path 3. Now, that doesn't mean that that element is unachievable. It just means that that might be a little bit more difficult and needs that little bit more focus to help you achieve that element of your life path 3. But it's all about the expression number 11, Master 11, supporting the life path 3. Okay, so let's have a little look and a nutshell look at the purpose of a life path 3. So you're here to learn. So this infers that this is going to be a difficult process. You're here to learn positive verbal expression. Okay, now this can be difficult because a lot of life path 3s are born with difficulties with language, and this varies from having a stutter to being struggling to know what words to say. Many life path 3s struggle with language and knowing which words to use. Some people are mute, or they might have pronunciation problems, or it could be confidence issues and extreme shyness, which can prevent that verbal expression that the life path 3 is here to achieve. And the thing with the life path 3 is they can be very emotional, and they can be very negatively emotional, and they're here to learn to be positive with those emotions, to have positive verbal expression with positive and authentic. That means passionate, but authentic and real emotion and creativity. They're here to learn to be a confident emotional performer, speaker, creative artist, which infers they're going to find this difficult. They're here to be happy in front of an audience, which may be a difficulty for them, but that's something they're here to get by. They're here to be more courageous, to take action and be an executor of ideas, while learning to listen to guidance and take responsibility, because the spontaneous and carefree, beautiful nature of a life path 3 there's a positive and a negative to every characteristic in every life path. And whereas that creative flair can be very spontaneous and sometimes not thought through, so they need to maybe take more responsibility, think things through a bit more, learn to listen to guidance and take responsibility for any actions that they bring about, that because they can learn from that, and people will respect them more for taking responsibility for their mistakes. Because you're here to be a good social person. You're here to be a skilled networker, almost the life of the party. You're here to be talkative and fun to be around. And of course, that infers that could be a difficulty for a life path 3. So that is the purpose in a nutshell of your life path 3. and all the difficulties, because what you're here to achieve is something that you're likely to struggle with, because that's your purpose. But the talents you bring with you in that expression, Master 11, means you bring the talents with you of an old soul. It means you're highly intuitive, you're empathic, you're perceptive, and you're psychic. Now, this can be used to help you to develop your positive verbal expression. It can be used to help you be that performer. It can be used to help you channel the ideas to be that creative artist that you're meant to be in the life path 3. You know, your talents in the expression 11 bring you uniqueness, creative messages and ideas that only an 11 and another master number could channel. And this can bring amazing things to the creativity that you can channel as a life path 3. You know, all these talents in the 11 can be used to channel through the difficulties of your life path 3. It's like using your talents to support your weakness. This is what it's all about. You bring a new transformative message, ideas to heal and teach. So you have the potential for your ideas to be performed by your life path 3. You don't necessarily need to perform other people's ideas or speak other people's truths, because you have a talent number expression Master 11, which means you've got the talent to channel your own ideas and messages. And those ideas and messages that you channel, you can then learn to express with emotional authenticity and confidence and verbal dexterity, or your creative artistry, to help you achieve your life path 3, you know. But as an 11, very service orientated and need to balance your responsibility to others, because the 11 is very much a service number, with your own needs, because you have your own needs in the life path 3 and they need to be adhered to first and foremost. You know, just because you have the talents of a person that does everything for everyone else and serves everyone doesn't mean it's your purpose to use all of that talent. Your purpose asks you to do something that maybe you're not so good at, to help you evolve as a person. So stop me gabbling on. Let's look at the detail. We're going to cut that life path 3 down into all the little bits and bobs that are involved and look about how the 11 can help or hinder that issue. Right. So first and foremost, the life path 3 is here to be able to express themselves. And, you know, it's verbally, artistically, in any way possible. But for this slide, it's verbally. So you're here to learn to express yourself verbally, to inform and delight other people, whether you entertain or teach, it doesn't matter, because you're authentically expressing yourself to people, groups, or an audience. So you may struggle in some way verbally as a life path 3. Chronic shyness, speech delay, stutter, or even just struggling to find the right words. Or some life path 3s choose a path where there's a language barrier and that inhibits their communication in some way. So there are many ways that there can be verbal difficulties, and it can be expressed in many ways depending on who you are and your upbringing. But the central idea is the same. It's learning to verbally express yourself and to be articulate enough to do so. Your expression number Master 11 means that not only can you channel information, but you're skillful at verbally expressing your ideas, even your unique, groundbreaking ideas. And you can do that with great skill when you use your talent at its best. But you've got to use that talent. When you're at your best, you're confident, you're a risk taker, you're happy to verbally express your brand new, unique message and ideas that you channel through your talent number, and you're happy to express those, and you can verbally do so. However, the double one, the 11, whether a talent or a life path, still swings from sometimes overconfidence, but often more towards crippling underconfidence, you know. And this low confidence, especially if left unchecked, with no spiritual practice or no emotional development, and you'll end up hiding all these beautiful new messages that you can channel as a talent number 11, and craving validation from others. And when you don't get that validation, digging those ideas even deeper down and hiding them from the world when they're meant to be channeled by you to bring about positive change. And you can do that. I mean, your life path 3 wants you to express, to bring about change, or to emotionally help people, to entertain, to inform, to inspire. That's what you're here to do. So to support your life path 3, you need to develop the bravery and the confidence to verbally express your ideas. Now, very important here to support that confidence is that spiritual practice, because full trust in your connection to source, full trust in your very knowledgeable, intuitive voice within is the backbone of the confidence you need to stand up there and share your important ideas with the world, to verbally express yourself, to entertain and inform and delight. You're here to learn to express yourself, not just verbally, but be creative with it. You know, it can be creative in other ways, artistically. You can use your body. You can be creative with words. You can be creative with anything. Is to expand your creativity and express yourself in your creative passion, whatever that may be, again, to inspire and inform and delight. And because that is your purpose, of course, you may struggle to progress those creative ideas. You may struggle to even start, would definitely struggle to finish creative ideas on projects, because you often have a lack of self-belief and you feel that, if you try and finish it, you'll ruin it, or you tell yourself you're not creative. And because that's what you're here to learn, to learn in yourself how creative you are and to develop that. Your life path 3 needs you to express yourself creatively, to inspire. So it can be a difficulty for you to realize that creative potential within you. But your expression master 11 means that you channel new, unique, brand new messages and ideas straight from source consciousness. Ideas, creative ideas and messages. You at your best, you're confident, you have creative self-expression. It's natural to you as an 11 to be creative. You're the initiator, the bringer of the new idea. You have all this star quality within you as a master 11 to inspire any audience when you're confident at its best. And that's when you're channeling your intuition and you're trusting your connection to soul consciousness. You're extremely dynamic though, and you have loads of ideas with that master 11 energy pounding you all the time. You can, it's like water hitting you and overwhelming you. You have lots of these ideas and they can overwhelm, and so they struggle to grow legs. They often fall on stony ground, and without that spiritual practice to help you focus on those ideas that have the most potential about them with your spiritual practice, you're going to lose interest quickly. And ideas, world-changing ideas, continue to be unmanifested because you just haven't taken action in the real world, because you haven't been able to focus on any one idea long enough to develop it. So support your life path 3 by using and developing that spiritual practice to help you to focus your master talent energy, to help you stay as close as you need to your creative messages, and stay with them long enough to develop them, to nurture them, to team build around them, to get the work done on them, to get them expressed in the real world and bring them to reality is very important. You've got to be a bit dynamic when you're expressing, and especially as an expression 11, you're bringing a new message at the end of the day if you're using your talents to its fullest. And also the 3 needs to be as well very dynamic. They need to take risks. They need to be creative. You've got to take risks when you're creative and be confident to enjoy the attention of an audience or a group of people, to be able to show your ideas, express your ideas, or show people your creativity and be courageous and confident about it. Not arrogant, just intuitively courageous and intuitively confident, because you're here to be dynamic. You're here to take risks. You're going to struggle. You're going to be fearful. You might be shy, totally underconfident and totally fearful and unable to take any risks. And your life path 3 needs you to develop towards being that dynamic, confident risk taker, happy to be the center of attention because you're so confident in your ideas and your creativity and your talent that you're comfortable and happy to express that authentically to any group, family or audience that are around. Your expression 11 helps you again here because you've a very intense dynamic energy that is very, very easily noticed to an audience. And at your best, again, you're very confident. You're a risk taker. You're happy to express your unique message, or whatever message that may be, or whatever artwork that may be, or whatever dance move that may be, to your audience, or whatever. You could be an actor. The 3 is a number of an actor, a performer, a speaker, an artist, an athlete, a dancer. However you can creatively express yourself. So to support your life path 3, trust that keen intuition. Again, keep that spiritual practice going. Trust your keen intuition to aid in your ability to decide which risks, through your logic and your intuition, which risk is going to work for me and which doesn't feel so good. Be confident enough to then share your unique ideas with a world audience, because your purpose isn't to heal the world. You've just got a talent to heal the world. Your purpose here is to inspire the world, to teach the world, to be a catalyst of change. That's your purpose. And you can use that 11 energy to help you do that. But it is important that you keep your intuition flowing, because you must not let low confidence hold you back. Okay, because the 11 can really struggle with feeling not as good as everyone else, which is totally ludicrous, because you're more than good enough. You're here to learn to express your emotions positively. As I said at the beginning, 3s are very emotional. I know I've got 3 strongly in my numbers, and I've grown up throughout life learning over time how to channel and really express my emotions, not hold them in, learn to acknowledge my emotions and channel them in a healthy way. And that's what the 3 is here to do. I mean, I'm not a life path 3, but even with 3 in my numbers, I've had some difficulties with this. So for a life path 3, this can be even more of an intense difficulty, expressing your emotions positively, because you can be extremely sensitive and emotionally sensitive, especially sensitive to any form of criticism, even constructive. And other people's emotions can really get to you, because you're a sponge for other people's emotions. So you tend to match the emotions of others. So if someone else is behaving negatively, you're likely to completely behave negatively as well. And your emotion, you're so dynamically emotional, you can be extremely happy and very outwardly happy, or you can be extremely depressive. There's an emotional balance that a life path 3 needs to come to. So the 3 needs to learn to get that emotional balance over time through acknowledgement and focus on developing their how they express their emotions, so that they express them more positively. But your 11 talent energy is sensitive and emotional as well. But normally more low key than the 3 energy. And, they've got precarious confidence, which can affect emotions even more. So the 11 can struggle. The talent of the 11 can cause a bit of a struggle here, because the sensitivity of the opinions of others that the 11 has, and the 3, are precarious, shaky confidence that can swing back and forth depending on how people treat them, or validation from others or not. They can struggle to handle conflict, because remember, the 3 tends to match and mirror people's emotions. So they're likely to either express negatively back or flee. And the 11 hates conflict, so they could express badly or they could leave. So the 11 doesn't always deal with conflict all that well. So this can be a difficulty because they're here to learn to express their emotions more positively. And of course, this is going to be a difficulty for a 3, and it's going to be a lifelong journey. So to help support that lifelong journey, which is your life path 3, become aware of your emotions. Analyze, let your emotions come, but be more aware of them this time. Analyze yourself that little bit more. Give yourself time. Let your emotions come and kind of watch yourself in action. Analyze yourself. Become aware of how you feel at any one moment, and then think, what was the trigger for that? And just start taking note of your emotions, your feelings at any one time, and what triggers that at any one time. Because this awareness of your emotions and the triggers that bring them about can help you to think and control and express your emotions in a more balanced and healthy manner. So when you've analysed a trigger or an emotional, what can I call it, an emotional theme, next time you have that emotional trigger, what you've been thinking about will come to mind and your strategies will start to come to mind. Now, this is a process. At first, it won't be so good, but it's a learning process. So just start by analysing, learning about yourself. And only by knowing your emotions, what brings them on and your triggers, can you begin to start expressing them, not holding them in. No, 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 no. Expressing them in a healthy manner that keeps you healthy and strong as an individual. You're here to develop the habit of taking action, and that low confidence isn't going to help in the 11, because you're here to, because you're here to take action, you're here to be a doer and an executor of ideas. You can struggle with apathy, laziness, total lack of direction, and the creative 3 can, struggle to even enter the working world, let alone anything else, and totally lack any focus and direction. So they're here to take that focus. They're here to learn to act on their ideas. You need to execute and express your ideas in reality so that you can be that inspiration, so that you can be that catalyst of change that you as a 3 are here to develop towards. Your expression master 11 talent means you have extensive talents to manifest new and innovative messages and ideas. You've got an amazing bank of information in your talent number 11. You've got all the messages and ideas and the ability to initiate them. All you've got to do is express them now through your life path 3. However, the 11 and the 3 can both struggle with focus. The 11 can let ideas fall by the wayside, and without spiritual focus can really struggle to focus in any way. And when you add that to the difficulties they already have in the 3, you might find that this person often, their ideas often stay in the clouds and they're just not executed because the focus has not been put in. So to support your life path 3, it's important that you set an intention, focus and act on that creative idea, on that intention to progress. You must express and progress, or express to progress your ideas to groups, people, audiences through standing there and doing it live, acting, speaking, YouTube. Delight and inspire and bring about change in your audience is what you're here to do as a life path 3. Keep that focus is the real message in this slide. Focus, 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 and use your spiritual practice to help you to do that, because you're going to have double the difficulty here with learning to focus and bring your ideas down to the real world and actually expressing them to your audience so that people can be inspired and change can be sought. You're here to learn to be more social so that you can express yourself more emotionally. It's all part of your emotional development and your need to develop the charisma to be able to be creative and to authentically and emotionally express yourself as a 3. So you're here to learn to be social, more talkative, more of the life of the party and the bringer of fun and positivity. You need to be more of the networker, communicating your emotional message, whatever that may be. Of course, you're here to do that. So you're going to struggle socially. You might even have social anxiety, quiet, struggling to speak or even to know what to say at any given moment. That's the social anxieties and possible difficulties of a 3. But you need to develop towards, your life path 3 needs you to work towards being more socially confident and able to communicate that emotional message so that people really listen and are inspired by the words you say or the art you produce or the way you express yourself or the emotions that you can bring up in people as a performer, a speaker or a sportsman or a dancer, anything, whatever you do. Your expression number 11 talent means that you're already social, but in a very deep way. You're empathic, you're compassionate, and you can connect one-to-one and on a deep level with people. But you find socializing with larger groups a bit more difficult, especially if you're not doing daily spiritual practice. And even when you are, big groups can sometimes be a bit overwhelming to a sensitive old soul like an 11. because they're so sensitive to their others and noise and their environment, strong smells, loud noises, and the noise and bustle of many people and the overwhelming senses around them can be overwhelming, and they might prefer or feel better in smaller groups. So to network and communicate on a wider level is something that the 11 needs to develop towards to achieve their life path 3. And it's about managing your sensitivity in the world. And again, spiritual practice is going to help you with all of that. So your life path 3 needs you to engage in spiritual practice to help you manage your sensitivity and trust that very, very strong intuition that you have, because this will allow you to excel socially and in larger groups so that you can network and communicate your message to a larger audience, not just one-to-one. Okay. You're here to learn interdependence. Now, the 3 can fear routine, commitment. They can even fear entering work because they don't like the routine and the commitment of work. They're creative souls. They want to have time to themselves to create their passion and their mastery, and then express that to the world. That's the the purpose of a 3, to do that. But they're here to, rather than being dependent and lacking work or money, they're here to learn to be a bit more independent so that they can be more interdependent. Life path 3s like to be looked after, and they can be prone to avoiding work or anything needed, any kind of routine or commitment. And the 3 can happily be looked after and look for the rich partner that can support them so that they can just put all their time into their own creativity and their own, passions and emotions. That's very much a 3. So your life path 3 needs you to learn to be a bit more interdependent, to give and receive in equal measure, and learning to be able to do that so you're not just dependent on everyone else. Your expression master 11, however, means that you're very much a giver. So your talent kind of puts you on the other side of the scale as well, which means you could swing to and fro from being dependent to being harshly over independent. And you're here to learn to balance that and become more independent. Because whereas the 3 is dependent, the 11 likes to give. They're a server of others, and they have the potential to maybe create some balance there so that your dependence and your independence are balanced, and your spiritual practice can help you understand how interconnected we all are. So understanding that innate interconnection is going to be vital for a 3 that struggles with dependence and creating their own independence in life. So support that life path 3 by taking, if at first, take flexible work or run a business that is creative and dynamic, but you've got to take action on that. Remember, you can't let low confidence stop you and procrastinate. You maybe start a business where you're not tied to someone else's schedule or commitments. But then you've got to be self-motivated, and you've got to take action, and you've got to be more independent in other ways in order to do that. You have so much wisdom inside you as a talent number master 11, sorry. And this can all help you understand the interconnected nature of the world and how you're not here to just take as a person, you're here to give and take. We're all here to give and take to the system, to the universe in whatever way we can. So that interdependence needs to be understood, especially by a possibly dependent 3. But that expression master 11, it has the potential of balancing you out, so you become as much as a giver as you are a taker. Balance. You're here to be opportunistic, more confident socially. As I said, the 11's very sensitive, prefers one-to-one. So you need to develop towards, in the 3, being a bit more confident, being a bit more socially out there, really. Opportunistic networker, making useful connections, snapping up opportunities to spread the word and progress ideas. And of course, that confidence, you're going to be the opposite to that, or, you're going to struggle with that in some way. You might struggle to be opportunistic. You may shy away from meeting new people or making new connections, be too fearful to snap up opportunities when they come by and let those opportunities fly by you like birds. And your life path 3 needs you to act. It needs you to spread the word. It needs you to snap up any networking opportunity that you can, making useful connections to progress and express your message at your best. Your 11 talent energy provides you with that potential to make close social connections that will bring the trust and rapport that will help to stimulate opportunities, because, you know, deepening your relationships can bring about opportunities as well. Your expression 11 talent energy may struggle to be opportunistic. Without spiritual practice, they can manage this with spiritual practice, but they might struggle as a sensitive 11, and especially if they're struggling with their confidence, to be opportunistic and to step in and be brave, to make new connections due to their low confidence and high sensitivity. So support that life path 3 by developing yourself. Spiritual practice, as always, talking to new people as much as you possibly can. Take small little baby steps, develop some useful contacts, stimulate some opportunities, and be confident. Step out there a bit more. Take a couple of intuitive risks. Spread your message, even if you're a little bit scared or a bit underconfident. Spread your message emotionally, passionately, and authentically. And people will be inspired by your emotional authenticity, because people will feel it in you. It's a brave thing to do, but that's what you're here to do. That's your purpose as a life path 3. You're here to take responsibility, creative, emotional, spontaneous, not always thought through the things you do. And you've got to take responsibility and listen to guidance a bit more so that you can be a little bit less chaotic and scattered as you are as a 3, and even more so when you have a talent in the 11, chaotic, scattered, maybe not always thinking before you act, and then not always being confident or brave enough to take full responsibility for any irresponsible actions that you may have done, or intentionally or unintentionally cause situations. And you've got to learn to take that responsibility. People will respect you more for it. Listen to guidance from others, but also listen to guidance from your own spiritual intuition. You're an 11. Okay, listen to guidance from source energy. I mean, other people are useful, but source energy, there's nothing like it. And your intuition is a library of experience and intuition that can help you as well. So you really must unlock the door, because you're an old soul. You have excellent spiritual talents that you may have tapped or not tapped. Strong intuition and experiences and knowledge that you can pull from your soul's intuition, perceptions. You're connected to source energy. It's like taking a book out of a library, and your inner wisdom is there already. You know, you just got to channel it. And spiritual practice, again, spirit will never lead you to do anything irresponsible or nefarious. Okay, so keeping that connection to source energy is going to really be your backstop to make sure that all your actions are responsible. So support that life path 3 by staying connected to source energy and using source wisdom to guide your action, thus ensuring that your creativity is never used nefariously or wasted on substance abuse or negative action. Now, I hope you found my video really useful today on the Life Path 3 Expression 11. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. Please smash that like button if you found it useful, because it really helps me out. Now, you can contact me for loads of reasons. If you want to learn numerology, I've got courses on Udemy that are in the description box. I do one-to-one coaching. If you'd like a reading, a personal reading, you can contact me for that, and we can do a Zoom one-to-one call together. You can request a video. You can ask me questions. Email's the best way to get me, but you can contact me through all Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter, but email's the best. To request videos, to ask me questions, and if you want to learn, click my connection to Udemy, and I've got another course that still isn't done yet, but it's about halfway done now, but it's going to be a long course. Okay, I'm even worried whether Udemy will accept it. It's that long, but it's very detailed, sometimes probably nitpickily detailed, but it's for the reader of numerology that really wants to learn the nitty-gritty of numerology. Anyway, trust the soul within you, guys, because only your own soul knows what's best for you. See you soon.